We are back with another double blind tasting, but if you're new here, you might not know what that's all about. We have no idea what is in our glass, and we're going to give you the most honest and unbiased review because we literally cannot be biased because we don't know what we're drinking. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh, and I sure hope this whiskey is neat. Well, we know it's poured neat, but I hope it is neat, as the shirt indicates. Got some new shirts over at stuffandwhiskey.com. Just letting you know there. But we are going to taste this, smell it, taste it,
yes.
Give it a rating, let you know what we think about it, all that stuff before we find out what we're drinking. Erin's already getting into it, but I'll let you know this was drawn at random from our blind sample pool, full of a bunch of bourbons and ryes, most of which we've never tried before, so we have no familiarity, except for a few curveballs that keeps on our toes in there. But yeah, this could be almost anything. Available, allocated, inexpensive, expensive. We got all sorts in there.
There's something funky about this.
Something funky. Mm-hmm. Okay.
My immediate thought was...
Oh, there is something funky about this.
My immediate thought was this is a Texas whiskey.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. That was my first thought. But then I feel like there's a craft distillery-ness to it, meaning... It doesn't smell like your typical whiskey from like one of the 5 major distilleries. There
are more than 5 major distilleries.
I thought there were 5 major distilleries.
No, there's a lot more than 5. But the legacy
like
distilleries.
the big ones.
Yeah. There's just more than 5.
Okay, whatever. You guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
The big ones.
I know what you meant. I'm just saying like
Pick 5. Pick 5 big ones. Those 5.
Pick 10 or 15 big ones. This does not smell like things they make.
Yeah.
Unless it's some kind of new product we've never tried before.
Or unless it's finished.
That maybe has like a high malt content, or if it's finished in some funky secondary barrel.
Yeah, there's something.
It could be finished. That's a good call out, actually. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it doesn't smell like it's finished. It smells like something with the grain.
Yeah, it even smells slightly grain forward or maybe malt heavy or something like that. There's something unique about it. And past that, I mean, we should try to tell people something else.
It smells potentially like it's going to be sweet.
Very sweet. Yep.
I don't know what kind of sweet, though. If it's like a sugary sweet or like a fruity sweet.
Yeah, it's almost like a real tempered sweetness that you would get from some type of pastry type of thing. Or I don't know.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's get this on the palate. Okay. I'm very confused. It's there. The funk is there on the palate.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
I don't think this one's for me.
Well, you've only taken 1 sip.
Fair. I will give it another shot.
That's all. The only thing you want to do is just take 1 sip?
No, I'll take another sip. It's not bad.
It's just, not bad.
There is, so right off the bat, the sweetness comes through. Then I got, which you would think I would love, dark chocolate and coffee notes. But overlaying all of that is whatever this funkiness is that we keep getting, that I can't pinpoint it. And that's bothering me, but it's there, and it's very there. Let's take another sip.
Yeah, it just reminds me of grains.
Yeah.
Like a grain farm or something. You know, like if you're outside at a farm, I'm not talking barnyard animal type things. I'm just saying like a grain farm. There's kind of that smell here.
You know what this reminds me of? My mom used to make her own whole wheat bread, and I'm not saying it smells like wheat, but what this smells like is she would grind her own wheat before she made the bread in like this machine.
Yeah.
And it made the whole house smell this smell.
This grain smell.
And that's what this smells like. And that was a smell that I didn't particularly like because I didn't like the bread that she made. I don't like whole wheat bread. Even as an adult, I eat white bread. I'm an adult. I can do what I want. But so I think maybe
what about your health?
I do other things for my health. Me eating white bread will be okay. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of, and I think that's not a pleasant memory, like a pleasant smell for me back in my memory banks.
Yeah. Outside of that kind of grainy smell, there is a lot of sweetness here. It almost comes through with like this cherry sweetness to me, like a cherry caramel type of combination. It smells like craft whiskey. Smells like, to me, pretty decent craft whiskey.
Yeah.
Craft whiskey is not our favorite thing, either one of us, and Erin does tend to like craft ryes a little bit more than
the bourbons.
And I tend to not like either of them as much as I like legacy distillery stuff. But let's get another sip of this.
Yeah, I'm sticking with what I said. There's no new news.
it starts off with that cherry caramel sweetness, and then halfway back in the palate, it shifts gears into the crafty side. And I find this enjoyable for craft. I would say that I would rank this on the upper half of craft things that I've tried.
Okay.
Maybe not much more than the upper, like it's maybe just tipping into the 50%. But I mean, I've had a bunch of other craft stuff I like more than this, but this is generally enjoyable. If you are a fan of craft whiskey, you're a fan of sweet bourbon, I think that's what we're dealing with here, bourbon. And if you like sweet
yeah, it is sweet.
bourbon and you like craft and you want to support a smaller distiller, then I think there's something in here that might be for you.
If it is a smaller distiller,
But where are you at on this? Thumbs down?
I'm gonna be just okay. It's not horrible. It's just not for me. I don't think the flavors align with what I look for in a whiskey, and I'm pretty particular. Like I'm very sensitive to that crafty note where it's different grains than we're used to getting. It's something that kind of always throws me, and I don't particularly like that.
I mean, I think I'm the same place. Just okay. I actually think this is pretty well done craft whiskey, if it is craft whiskey.
I will agree with that.
But I just don't think it's for me personally speaking. So if I knew which craft distiller this was, this is why we do it blind, because I would have all this bias and I would be like, oh, I love that. You know, I've heard so many good things.
Watch this not even be a craft distiller.
Maybe, but if it is, I would say, I've heard so many things about this good distillery.
Yeah.
And I would go into this with preconceived notions of putting it on a little bit of a pedestal. You're going to get our honest opinions around here, even if it steps on some toes.
Yeah.
So again, if you like this, then I don't think you're wrong in liking this.
Yeah.
I think this is very well made for being craft, just not quite my tempo.
Yeah.
If you've seen Whiplash, it's a great movie. If
All
you haven't
right.
seen Whiplash, go watch Whiplash. Turn us off. Go watch do something good with your life.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
78.
I would say I would be knowing craft. If it is craft, knowing craft, $50 to $75 would not be uncommon for a pour of this quality. It could even be higher than that because they don't have all the margins that the large distilleries do. They have to make their money back.
Yeah.
So yeah, frame of reference for price on this is a little bit all over the board. How much does it cost?
So this is $60.
That's actually, I think, solid value for what you're getting.
I do too. I'm staying just okay. I feel like this is a good price for what you're getting. It's not for me, but I can tell it's well made just because I've tasted a lot of whiskey and I can tell it's well made.
Yeah.
I just don't, my palate doesn't care for it.
Yeah.
Are you staying or moving?
I'll say just okay, yeah.
Should I stay or should I go?
Yeah. This one, if it was here, I mean, I would find something to do with the bottle. I'd drink it, share it with friends, but it wouldn't have to go right away. It's not a drain pour by any means.
All right.
All right, what are we drinking?
We're drinking Spirits of French Lick Maddie Gladden.
Oh, wow.
Bottled in bond.
This is awesome because the Spirits of French Lick Lee W. Sinclair that we tasted on the channel got one of the most wild and heinous reactions by myself personally.
Oh.
And I think that's a 4-grain bourbon, but this is their bottled and bond, just straight bourbon.
It's 100 proof.
And it is craft.
It is craft. Okay.
I like this way better
this
than
is a sample
Lee
that was
W.
given
Sinclair.
to us thanks to Vin at Bourbon Spirits.
Thank you, Vin.
Yeah.
I was just commenting on one of his things the other day. Oh. I'm almost never on any kind of social media, but we are over on Discord through our Patreon community.
We are.
And if you're not part of that and you're good people who like good whiskey, you should be part of that.
You should.
Skip it if you're not good people or you don't like good whiskey. You got to have both of those qualifiers. Good people, you like bad whiskey, I guess you can come on. You can come on.
Because you'll get exposed to good whiskey.
Yeah. But I mean, if you like it, it's not bad whiskey.
The prereq is good people.
Yeah.
The add-on is the good whiskey.
Right. That's just what brings us together. But you can also get access to our barrel picks. You actually can sign up for the free tier on Patreon to get access to our barrel picks if they go through all the paid tiers and don't sell out. But yeah, check it out. All kinds of stuff going on over there on Patreon. Yep. There's like six different tiers, I believe, that get you all different types of benefits based on what your personal preferences are.
Yes.
But back to the whiskey, I'm actually kind of surprised and impressed because the Lee W. Sinclair was the first and last thing I've tasted from the Spirits of French Lick.
Well, not the last anymore.
Well, not the last now, but I remember Fred Minnick propped the Lee W. Sinclair up on this huge pedestal, and I thought I said it tasted like I was standing in a grain silo, but the grain had gone mildewy.
Oh, I remember that.
This smells like a grain farm, but it has sweetness.
But it's not mildewed yet. It hasn't turned yet.
No. There's no mildew.
Yeah.
There's just a little bit of soily.
It's just a grain.
Kind of
there's
funk.
a grain funk, just like we said. It's just off grain. It's not your normal type of grain. I don't know what they're using the same types of grains. They're just maybe grown different places than the major distillers.
Oh, I'm sure there's some type of mash bill difference or something, but
yeah.
Nonetheless, great. Good job, Spirits of French Lick, on making a bourbon that did not absolutely detest me.
I think this goes to show, like, this is not for me, but I do think that this is good whiskey for people who like this type of whiskey. So it's good price, good quality. It's just not my palate.
Now, here's what I'll say. If you're looking at Lee W. Sinclair, or if you're looking at Spirits of French Lick stuff, and you're wondering, like, oh, I've seen some positive reviews on this craft distillery, and I like craft whiskey, I would like to try one of their offerings. I would recommend that you try this first, this Maddie Gladden first.
That's a good recommendation.
And then if you like it and you want to get a little bit more crazy and funky, maybe then think about the Lee W. Sinclair. But don't skip this and grab the Lee W. Sinclair. I think that would be a mistake.
Yeah,
personally
I agree.
speaking. What's not a mistake is subscribing to this channel if you like this style of content, liking the video if you liked it. That does help us out, but honestly, subscribing helps you because you get more videos like this.
There you go.
So treat yourself, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell down there. That will let you know when we're going live. We do that once a month, and those dates float around a little bit.
They do.
Somewhere in the back half of the month on a Sunday, but the bell will actually help you know when we're going live.
Yes.
Also, again, Patreon, we do private Patreon live streams over there, pop-up live streams, all kinds of stuff's going on, and generally hanging out, having fun. And we have shirts, again, at stuffandwhiskey.com. This one and many more that you can get down there. So it's in the video description. You can check it out.
Yes, I think that's it for today. Be good to each other, guys. And until next time, cheers.